Well, let's get more on a Canadian company that wants to be a player in the weight loss drug. Our guest is a former Novo Nordisk executive in Canada and internationally on the financial side, who is now a co-founder of a Canadian weight loss drugs company. We're joined by Farris Smith, co-founder and president of Vimy Pharmaceuticals. Farris, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Andy. It's great to be here with you.
We talked to Dave Souchon, your partner, just a while ago. Just remind us what Vimy plans to do, please.
Well, Vimy Pharma is a Canadian company exclusively focused on semaglutide in Canada. So we have researched and developed a semaglutide product, and we'll be filing with Health Canada shortly, and we expect to get approval later this year and launch the drug here in Canada for Canadians, and only then will we look to export.
And is this a generic version of Wegovy or Ozempic?
It is a generic version, and as you may know, there are multiple submissions that are being reviewed by Health Canada. None have been approved yet.
Right. Give us an idea on pricing. I mean, when these generics, your generic and others, come on the market, will they be half the price of the branded product, or can you give us a ballpark?
We're expecting that eventually there will be multiple generics on the market, and there's a tiered pricing framework that's been agreed upon between the Pan-Canadian Pharmaceutical Association, known as the PCPA, which is it's a collection of the provinces that negotiate with pharmaceutical companies, and that agreement was made between the PCPA and the Generic Association. And that tiered pricing framework calls for a price level of around 35% of the branded level once there are 3 or more generics on the market.
That is quite a reduction. One question occurs to me, and I'm not sure if this has been on your radar. Are corporate benefit plans paying people for these weight loss drugs?
Well, insurance companies have been covering Ozempic since it was launched. Some have higher coverages than others, but I think Ozempic has enjoyed a pretty good coverage from the outset because of the merits that the product delivers to patients. It reduces blood sugar significantly. It also leads to weight loss, which is why the long-term studies that have come out recently have made it into the label showing reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, also mitigation of chronic kidney disease.
So your business model is, I think you're not going to build your own factories. I think it's a common model in the pharma industry. You're going to have somebody else make it for you.
That's correct. We've partnered with a number of great companies, including Dalton Pharma here in Ontario, to develop our semaglutide. And we have a team that, by design, we have put together a regulatory and manufacturing team with deep Canadian experience, because we know that Health Canada has stringent requirements when they're reviewing a generic product like a generic semaglutide. So we have a deep bench with people that have multiple decades of experience here in Canada, also Health Canada experience itself.
And is the drug injected still? There isn't a widespread version that's for oral use?
So there's injectable semaglutide. There's also a pill version that's been approved here in Canada called Rybelsus, and that's been available in the market for a few years. You may have read in the news that Wegovy in a pill was recently approved in the U.S. So that's been in the headlines recently. But the injectable semaglutide market here in Canada is enormous already. It's a $3.5 billion market. Chris Hannay from the Globe and Mail recently published an article saying that the first 9 months of combined Ozempic and Wegovy sales was, I believe, around 2.6 billion. So you annualize that, you get to about 3.5 for the year. And this is a category that's growing at 20% per year before generics are even in the mix. And you may recall that there are about 7 to 8 million Canadians that are not using semaglutide with obesity. So, there's a 33% incidence of obesity here in the Canadian adult population. So although there are over 1 million people benefiting from this product, there are 7 or 8 times more than that could benefit from a generic semaglutide. So that's what we're really excited about at Vimy Pharma, producing a high quality, made in Canada, developed in Canada semaglutide that we can make more widely available and allow more people to benefit from this fantastic product.
What will your competitive advantage be, though, versus other generic manufacturers?
Well, we have deep experience in this space. As you mentioned, my co-founder, Dave Souchon, and I have worked in this space for many, many years. And we have deep relationships in this space. And we're producing a very high quality product, which we expect will be approved by Health Canada later this year. There's a big need for the product, and we're going to make sure that that's widely available. Our production partners are based here in Canada as well. And at a time, when Prime Minister Carney has recently rolled out a Buy Canada policy, we think that there are multiple compelling benefits besides the health benefit that Vimy Pharma's product brings. All of the economic value will stay here in Canada in the form of taxation, but also in the form of job creation and the multiplier effect that job creation brings.
Is there a prospect of you exporting the medication outside Canada?
There is. Our priority right now is to make the product here in Canada, to get it approved in Canada, and make it available to as many Canadians that would like to benefit from it. There's been a huge demand. There have been shortages in the past, as you may recall. So we want to make sure that we have more than enough supply here for Canada first, and then we'll look to export. And we do have partners out there that are excited about exporting this wonderful product from Canada.
Can you remind me, I believe I've read that women are the main user group for these drugs. Is that the case?
I don't think it's gender specific. Unfortunately, obesity impacts quite a number of adult Canadians, and both men and women benefit.
Fascinating stuff. This medication has just, in some ways, has revolutionized the pharma industry.
It really is. And if you think about all of the consequential diseases that occur, post-obesity or concurrently with obesity, cardiovascular disease, chronic kidney disease, liver complications, and there's many other complications that are being investigated with GLP-1s, not only semaglutide.
Yeah.
So. And in a country like Canada, where we have a publicly funded healthcare system, mitigating those future complications is quite valuable, to the government that pays for that public healthcare system and society at large.
We'd better leave it there. Fascinating story, and thank you very much for the update.
Thank you.
That's Farris Smith, co-founder and president of Vimy Pharmaceuticals.